Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Lighthouse Sessions. I'm excited. I have my new friend, Joe Mindak, with me. Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
No, Jeff, thanks for having me. Excited to be on here. I love reading about what you're doing and talking earlier about being optimist. So one thing, step one, I'm an optimist. So which is helpful in business. So I've actually been an entrepreneur, I guess, most all of my life. I've never actually worked for anybody. So my current company, Noladex, is my seventh business. So love building businesses, starting them from scratch, pretty much all of them, except one was a franchise. The only one that was a total bust, but it wasn't my doing. It was a franchise. So, I started out from New Jersey. I went to University of Dayton out in Ohio, came back home, and I started a marketing company out of college. Working with my dad, who was in the printing business, and we kind of took this one-man print shop to a 30-person, marketing agency in the course of a couple of years, and kind of figure it out on the fly how to start a business and get something going, and just kind of learned all along the way. So it's been a fun journey, and now on my seventh business, I've learned a lot about how to grow a business, but also most importantly, a lot of things not to do when you're running a business that you learn the hard way, right? School the hard knocks, I guess, of just doing it yourself. So yes, I'm excited. This is. I remember when I first started dating my wife, her friend was like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Well, I have this business and I have another business." He's like, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur," and I'm like, I guess I don't know. Like, I didn't really consider myself one. And he says, I heard it takes the average entrepreneur 7 tries before they hit the big one. And I'm like, oh, so I'm on 7 now. So I'm like, all right, lucky number 7. Let's get it going. So I'm excited to get this going. So
I love it. And by the way, one of the things people ask me all the time, what's the difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner? Most business owners buy one business and they build it until the day they die, and it's about incremental improvements. Most entrepreneurs, 7 seems to be the number. Now it differs. Some have 7 businesses, they start them and they continue to own them. Some start and move on. Um,
yeah, I mean, I still kind of I don't like the word entrepreneur. I don't like saying, I never say that I'm an entrepreneur, but people always, yeah, you're on, 7, yeah. Yeah, I've sold 2 businesses, but I'm not, I haven't sold anything for like the I'll stay home and never have to work again money kind of thing, right? So I kind of actually I wrote part of a book years ago. Really, the working title is How to Screw Up Your Business Without Really Trying, and it's from that old play, and it's about all the things I screwed up in business.
yeah.
And I never finished it because that last chapter I wanted to be. And by the way, I just sold a company for a gazillion dollars or whatever. So I thought that would be a great ending to the book. And yes, I've sold 2 businesses and made some money on them, but like not to the point where like, hey, I have enough money that I never have to worry about it again. So I thought that would just be like, hey, you could screw up all you want in business, and you're going to. And here's some things that I did that maybe you shouldn't do, but don't do them because I've already done the bad things for you and the screw ups. But despite all those failures and things I did wrong, I also sold a company for $50 million. So that go to the end. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I just, yeah, it's definitely a word that's been thrown out. Like, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there now. It's like,
Yeah.
well, where's the line where it's like if you open up a retail store in your local town, does that mean you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner in the town? Like, so I never want to diminish anyone's value what thdon't putting on themselves, but I just think it's definitely a word that people use a lot. So I guess I am, but I don't always throw that out.
Well, honestly, I'm thinking out loud that entrepreneur versus business owner is optimist versus pessimist. And again, no judgment either way. But a true business owner, and I used to be an accountant, so I know a lot of them, they'll work on incremental improvements. They're the integrators of the world. They're the ones who build systems and processes, and, they grow steadily. They know they're going to grow 3% every year. I think entrepreneurs are the optimists who go, I know this is working. I know it could be better. So I'm going to break it and try something new.
Right. Yeah. And I think, I say I sold 2 businesses. I sold 2 businesses that were doing fine, like making money, profitable. They weren't just going to be the sale that I was looking for. Right. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, I got to get out. The business is failing and I'm not making money. we're making money. And I was like, you know what? I want something bigger. So I want to try something that's going to be not done before. I had a marketing agency. There's a million marketing agencies out there, right? We weren't much different from the other 1,000 marketing agencies in the country, right? So, but we had our clients and it was great and all. But after 20 years, I'm like, you know what? This isn't going to, at one point I was looking to grow it to a $10 million company and sell it. And then the recession hit in 2008, 2009. And it just, took our company from a $3 million company to a $2 million company pretty quickly because everyone cut their marketing budget. And after that, I was like, well, I'm just never going to get that back to where it was. And the technology was coming out with other stuff. So I finally was like, look, I can't build another company if I still have these other two companies to run.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to get rid of these companies. I'm just going to sell them for whatever we get for them and move on to the other companies. Allowed me to start 2 other companies. So it was good. So I'm glad I did it.
Well, and I think that's, with entrepreneurs, it's like, okay, I climbed the mountain, I did the challenge, what's next? And sometimes getting to the top of this mountain was all I needed now. And I think that's the key is, does it support the next venture? And again, I know some people, I do have some entrepreneurs who collect their businesses, but they're very hands-off in all things. So the first thing they do is they hire a CEO, fire themselves, and then they just go on the sidelines. But I'm also one of those all-in kind of guys. And when I'm all out, then it's like, okay, time to move on to the next thing.
Yeah. And I'm like you, the thought was to keep those running, but like, if I wasn't running them, I don't know that they would be as successful, right? Like, the guy that took over my marketing company ran it for a year and then was done. Like, it's like, kind of, you take the right CEO out, sometimes it doesn't work. But so, I like starting new things and trying them. And I think sometimes you got to realize when it's time to cut bait too. Like they don't always need to be super successful. Like I started a brewery, a beer company. We contract brewed our beer and, it was doing fine. Like we got it out there, we got a couple investors. It was doing all right. We're selling beer, but it just never was going to go to the level where it could be. And it just, the market got oversaturated. And it was like, it was okay. People don't want a business to fail. And it wasn't that it failed. It wasn't like we were making money, but we were never going to when we can. I'm like, we don't want to, if we really want to grow this thing big, we got to put a lot of money into it and get a lot of investors and really grow this brand. And there's a million beers out there. Yeah. So why don't I go compete in a market that's oversaturated already to try and get that little incremental part of the market? There's 8 taps in a bar and everyone's trying to get on those 8 taps and there's 800 beers trying to get on those 8 taps. So it's okay to be like, listen, guys, this is not going to work. We gave it a try. We did it right. Move on to the next one. You don't have to keep it going. And you learn that the hard way, right? I had a smoothie shop I started, right? My only retail kind of thing that I went into. And like I had said earlier, I had a franchise and that was a bust. So while we were doing the franchise, I'm like, oh, there's another thing I could store that was for sale in my town. So I bought it. And I thought it was a cool concept. It was a smoothie shop and a tanning salon in the back. So I was like, all right, listen, if you're someone that works out, that likes to tan, that likes to eat smoothies and juices and eat well, like that kind of combines it. So go in, order your smoothie and go in the back, get your tan. By the time you're done your 8-minute tan, you come out and your smoothie's ready for you. And you sit and we had oxygen. We had, that was a cool idea. And it was doing well. But, at that point we had lost a lot of money in the soup stores, the franchise I had. And to keep that going, we were paying like $5,000 a month to keep the rent going. It just, we just didn't have the bandwidth to do it, and the budget to keep going. But we kept throwing that $5,000 at the store to just try and get it through. And at some point we're like, you know what, we should have cut bait, 8 months ago. We just blew $50,000-$60,000 just trying to keep this thing going, hope it would turn, and it would have if we had that extra money from the other store. But sometimes you just gotta, know when to cut bait, and sometimes it doesn't work. And it's okay.
And I think that's the key to being an entrepreneur is, we learn as much from our missteps as we do from probably more than we do from our successes. Would you agree?
Of course, definitely, like that. And that's what the whole point of the book that I wrote was like, hey, these are things I didn't do. Like the franchise that I bought, the purpose of buying a franchise is to say, okay, Jeff, you've proven the model. Right, you made a profitable franchise that all I have to do is plug and play, like
cookie cutter.
Yeah, cookie. Here, follow these things. Follow what we did. Right. We bought a franchise that we found out a week after we opened. A week before we opened, they opened the first store. I'm like, wait, you don't have a store that's been up and running already? And like, it was a total like, wait, you guys don't have a franchise model. So from that, I learned from that thing that like I can't expand anything until I got the model down.
Yeah.
So, right. Like everything I did from them, like when I started the magazine, it was like, okay, these are the rules we're going to follow. And once we do that, we can expand to another town. When I launched the software company now, Noladex, that we have, we weren't going to expand and sell the software to anyone until we proved that it worked for us. Like everything we want to do, this works, the platform works, the payments work, everything works. Now we could go out and bring this to the market. That's, it's easy and people can just come on. So that was a big lesson I learned, that, hey, don't ever do what those guys did and just throw something out there and throw it out. And I've seen it. I had 2 softwares we tried to use last year for ourselves. And I'm like, and I finally had to say to the owner of one of them, I said, guys, I don't know how you put this out to the market. And I won't mention any names or whatever, but I'm like, my Excel file does a better job than the software you guys built to take over that. And I wasn't trying to be insulting. I'm like, you guys shouldn't go out to the market with this shit. Now it's like you're discrediting your software because it doesn't work. And now I'm not going to go back to that. I'm going to find something else. Wait till it's fixed and ready to go before you go out there with it. So
yeah. Well, especially with software, people get, there are some people that will buy your most buggy, glitchy version and they're happy to be part of it. But the vast majority, I say we have app exhaustion. There's so many options out there. People don't want to learn something that may or may not work. They want to know it works. So let's talk about Noladex, because first of all, I think what drew me to you in your profile was you say you're the network whisperer and a secret weapon for business growth. Let's talk about Noladex. How did that idea evolve and what is it today?
So, it all started when I sold my marketing agency, and I was a connector, right? You're the chief connector. My title's connector in chief, so we're very similar. But I was always the guy connecting people, and I sold the agency. People were still calling me. I need a website. I need video. I need whatever in the marketing space. So I was connecting them to agencies that I work with and said, hey, I don't do that anymore, but use these guys. And then I just went back to those agencies because I was sending them like $100,000 projects. I was like, hey guys, I'll send you more work. How about you pay me? And they were like, yeah, you know what? You just brought me $100,000 project. I'll pay you 15% of whatever you bring in. Like, if you just want to be like a hired salesman and make introductions for us, we'll be happy to pay you. We don't have the network you have. So that's how it started. And I brought a bunch of people together, said, hey, Jeff, why don't me, you, and Jane, and Sue, and John, like, get together. We all do different things. Let's form a networking type group, but all pay each other. Like, why are we so afraid to pay each other? Yeah. Right. And that's the message we're getting out to people. Like, it's time for all of us in the networking world that have these great networks to say, let's all make some passive income. Let's all help each other get in the doors of places, and let's make some business happen. But everyone just get, a little referral fee for doing it. And listen, most business starts with a referral. Most companies are willing to pay a referral fee. Right? Yep. Most people that need something ask for a referral. Like, you're not going to build your kitchen in your house without asking your neighbors, like, Jeff, who'd you use? Oh, I use this guy, John Smith. He's great. He did a great job. Good. Let me use him. Right. So Noladex pulls that all together and says, all right, you have a community and your networking group, your alumni association, chamber, whatever. You're trying to get your people to engage with each other, and it's not happening. The software brings it all together, puts everyone. So we're building communities of communities, right? It brings everyone from your community, whatever it might be a community you have up in Canada that's based on XYZ. Bring them all together, let them engage on the platform, let them find each other, right? We have communities out there that 500 people, unless they go to an event, they don't get to meet the other members. Well, here's all the members on the platform. Here's everything that people do. There's a robust search engine. So if you need to find somebody that's in IT in Chicago that does boom, it'll find that right fit for the solution for your client looking for. And then you refer each other, and it tracks all the referrals. Says, okay, Jeff, here's all the referrals I've given out last month. Let me track those, because I'm incentivized now. Because if I give you a piece of business, Jeff, and introduce you to someone in my network, you're going to pay a fee, and I'm going to get part of that fee. So I'm incentivized. So I want to follow up with everyone I introduce now, instead of just being like, oh, Jeff, good luck with that person. Hopefully you get some business from them. No. Hey, Jeff, did my friend Amy call you back yet? No. Okay. She said she wanted to talk to you about XYZ. Let me make sure I get her on the phone with you. I want to follow up and do that because I'm going to get a referral fee. So it just changes the way networking's done, right? We're all going to pay each other. We're all going to agree to pay a fee up front, right? People I think have been apprehensive to say, Jeff, hey, I talked to my friend Amy. She just told me she hired you. How about you pay me something? You're like, well, Joe, we didn't talk about that. And like people are afraid to ask for that referral fee. Now it's like you come on the platform, you sign an agreement. Any business I get from this community, I will pay a referral fee, right? And it's simple, right?
Well,
Sales has always been about who you know, right?
Yep.
So I have 100 people I can introduce you to, Jeff, right on my phone. Why not be like, yeah, Jeff, I don't mind getting you a meeting with my college roommate. Let me ask if they want to talk to you. If they do, I'm going to make the introduction. I get a little cut, and you're happy to pay.
Now, you and I are going to go on a different conversation tangent here because the thing I hear the most from non-networkers is they criticize me for monetizing my network. And I look at it, if somebody gets the gold medal, Michael Phelps has won the most gold medals, nobody thinks twice about him getting on the Wheaties box and being paid to be there. Yet, for whatever reason, people are okay with paying for, cold leads on Facebook. They're okay with paying marketing companies that may or may not get them some results. And yet when you say, I'm a full-time professional networker, that's what I do, they look at you like, ooh, you just asked to touch them inappropriately. It's kind of, so what are your thoughts on monetizing networking? I mean, I have my biases and I believe in it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Look, I don't know. Honestly, for me, it's like those people that say that are probably not good networkers because they're like, we'll reciprocate. I don't know anything. Like, listen, if I said to you, Jeff, I'm going to get you a client that's going to give you you build websites. I'm going to get you $100,000 website next month. My college roommate's looking for a website. Yep. He and I had been in college together, shared a lot of beers together. We're close, tight, whatever. His company's looking for an agency to do the website. I'm going to give that to you, $100,000. Do you want that business?
Absolutely.
You'd be like, yeah, of course I want that business. Well, it's going to cost you $5,000 to get that business. But I'm not guaranteeing it, but I guarantee that you have a much better shot at getting that business because I'm referring you, right? Yep. Would you pay the $5,000? Who wouldn't pay the $5,000?
Every day, all day, and as
all
many
day
times
long,
a day,
like, right? Yeah. Okay, you don't want to pay referral fees? Good. You want to get new business? Go hire a salesperson for $60,000 base salary, pay their taxes, pay their benefits, pay their phone, pay the lunch they had to take the person out to potentially get the business, pay all that and hope they get that business.
And hope
right?
They know
Someone that doesn't know who they are and you're one of 4 other agencies they're dealing with. Like, come on already, guys. Like, really, you don't want to pay that fee? Like, if you had a salesperson and on top of all that you're paying for the salesperson, you still have to pay that person 7% commission. So what are we doing all that for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, our community that we started, it's $100 a month. There's 500 people in it. You got 500 salespeople for $100 a month, and you only pay an extra fee if you close a piece of business they referred you to. So, I don't know. I think again, there's going to be a big, and we're pushing with our platform, Nolex, to say let's all start paying each other. And there's going to be a little adoption to that. But I think people are eventually going to be like, listen, Jeff, you're in a group. Hey, you're in one group that's paying you a fee and the other group's not paying you a fee. You're going to either go back to that community owner and say, hey, these guys are paying me for every deal I close. What are you doing, right? And the community owners are afraid to, I think, maybe do it to say, hey, Jeff, you got to pay a fee now. It's okay. Not everyone in the group has to agree to pay a fee. You can put 0 if you don't pay a fee. But I think eventually everyone's going to be like, yeah, you know what? And people like me and you that are really good networkers are going to be like, and everyone that's joined our community so far has been like, wait, you're saying you're paying me for referral fees? I've been trying to get a way to get paid for my referral fees for years. I've given out millions of dollars business. But the cool part is, Jeff, is that like, look, it's okay, right? The really good referral givers are now going to get paid, right? And I keep saying, bottleneck, right, in networking where you and I are in a group, right? You and I are in the same group and whatever it's called. I give you 4 referrals, right? And you're supposed to reciprocate, right? Hey, where's mine back, Jeff? Hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You give me something, I give you back, right? Always give first, right? I get that.
Yeah.
But I give you 4 referrals, you don't give me one back. Guess what? I stopped giving you referrals.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just you don't want to do that and you want to be mean, but like, hey man, I given you 4 referrals, 4 good leads. You don't have anything back. And listen, maybe you don't, Jeff. Maybe you're not a good networker. You're like, hey man, I'm an IT man. I just build I build dev stuff.
I build stuff. I don't talk to humans.
And I'll talk to a lot of people. But now it's like, okay, Jeff, I gave you 4 referrals and you paid me on 2 of them. Hey man, I'll keep that faucet going for you. right? So right now, I think there's this bottleneck in there where it's like, I stopped giving you referrals. I leave that group because, listen, I used to be in groups. I would give out the most referrals every month, and I would get this printout that said, I give you the most referrals in this little cheap $2 micro frame, and I put it on the pile of the other frames I made the last 6 months of giving those referrals out. Like, where's my referrals? And finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm out. Like, this group, I'm not getting anything back. Now I'm like, hey, I'm giving referrals out every month, and I'm getting 20% of those deals are closing. I'm making $2,000 a month being in this group. I don't care if you guys ever give them a referral back. Don't worry about it, Jeff.
Yeah.
And look, the people that aren't good at giving referrals, let's say that's you in this case, like, Joe, man, I'm happy to pay you. You could, if you could bring me business, I just want to do some dev work. I just want to make logos or do videos or whatever I do that I love doing. I hate selling. Please, you go out and sell for me. I will pay you all day long to sell for me.
Yeah.
So where's the problem? These people want to pay you, right? I have people in my group that, like, my brother is in our group. He hates selling. He doesn't want to talk to anybody, right? But he is like, I'm paying you 12.5% anytime you give me a deal all day long.
I love it. Now, I just want to point out, Joe and I just met today, and clearly we both have the same raw nerve, because I love the passion that you have for this. And Joe, I'm just going to share my little rant. It pains me watching nonprofits that operate as nonprofits, and they're always going around begging for money. And my approach is, why wouldn't you find a network that will pay an affiliate fee, a referral fee, whatever you want to call it? Because one thing I do know about nonprofits, their board is usually successful business people.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you, as a successful business, why wouldn't you want the nonprofit to get a percentage? And again, people say, oh, it's icky. But if you disclose it up front, I go networking for people. I'll start a podcast for somebody just to connect and network for them. And then they get weird about paying when the deals start closing. And it's like, but you either pay in time or money. You either go do the networking or you go pay. And by the way, everybody thinks that, leads on the big marketing platforms are cheap until you have to pay the salespeople to turn those cold leads into.
Yeah. And look, as far as the nonprofit, like, I'm on a nonprofit here in New Jersey. I've donated $15,000 to the nonprofit, all through introductions.
Yeah, consistently and predictably, I'm guessing.
Yeah, somebody needs something, I refer to that person. They pay me a referral fee, and I give it right to the nonprofit. So it's like, it's great. Now there's 30 other people on our board. They should all be giving business to these people too. And then the nonprofit makes all the 100% of the money, and it's an easy place. Yeah. So nonprofits, look, that's going to be a big adoption thing with them, because it's like, you got boards, they meet once a quarter. Like, what does it mean? What are you referring? Like, it's hard to grasp that, because they might not be networkers. They like being on boards. But so that's something, I'm with you. Like, they can make so much money by that's 15 grand from me. If the 30 other board members also brought 15 grand, it's $450,000.
That's your entire operating budget.
Right. Like, and it's just these guys, and I'm not even the best networked guy in that group. There's people on my board that have no hell of a lot more people than me, and everything they do, even just their company. If their company needs marketing, printing, whatever, like go to somebody in the network and give it to them, and then they can make a cut off of it. So it's one of the guys on our board has a auto dealership, and I'm like, listen, I have a woman that does solar. You have 300,000 square foot facilities. Each of them will push off $20,000 commission each. Wow. That's $60,000 to the charity, and you're saving money on energy. They pay for it all. Like, it's a perfect storm. But it's like, oh, what's the catch here? Where are you making money? Like, it's like, no, like, it's tough. It's the convincing them is going to be tough. But I agree, man. That is like, nonprofits could make a ton of money off of this.
Well, coming up here, and I'm not pretending to give advice to Ronald McDonald House, but tomorrow is their big push where they have all their celebrities donate time, and they work in the restaurants, and proceeds go to the charity. Again, in addition to that, what if you were finding ways to send people to your volunteers? Again, it's a virtuous cycle.
Oh yeah, exactly. Easy way to find.
I volunteered for a nonprofit once. We were selling $5 hot chocolate packets door to door, and our margin, I think we kept 50%. And, by the time all these volunteers, all the management of it, we'd raise a couple $1,000s. And it was like, I can do an introduction that's worth more than that to somebody.
Yeah. It is. And you do these golf outings, you do these other things and put all this effort. Like we do a pancake breakfast in the Rotary every year. It makes I don't know, $3,000. It's like, that's one deal.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so
well, I think they forget that a lot of these groups like Rotary, the Lions, there's what's the secret handshake people?
The Elks.
The Elks. I'm thinking of the Freemasons.
Okay, yeah. The Elks have a secret thing too. I was an elk. It's not a handshake, though.
But they're all first and foremost community groups, networking groups. What impact could you have on your community if you're not only supporting local business, but that local business is in turn supporting your charity?
Yeah, I mean it could all, and that's why I said before, community of communities. Like you could have, we have a charity in town here that could all go to our town foundation. It's like there's a lot of people in our town that are successful business people and the downtown businesses and stuff that you could send a thing and everyone gets a cut. Even, I mean, we could use this for. I have a realtor in town that is an investor in our company, and I said, listen, you could use the software now to bring together all the landscapers, everyone that when you buy a house, you go to your realtor, hey, I need a roofer, I need a plumber, bring all those people together, and then part of it could go to a local charity in town too, because the software set to be like, okay, we made $1,000, good. Jeff, you get a 500 goes to the charity, or you could set it up however you want, right? So the person making a referral could get a part of the referral fee. The charity could get a part of it, right? It could split up any way you want. So it's like, hey, you could really build a nice network around here where all the realtors can get together in this county, bring on all their people, and then even when the landscaper sends something to the roofer, they pay each other too, and the community gets a cut of all those deals too. So it's exponential what it could do. And again, we have people looking at it like, hey, can I pay something to a charity? Yeah, you can just set the charity's bank account right up, and the money goes right into their account. And there's just so many ways to use the platform.
It's fascinating to me. Way back when Amazon had a program called Operation Smiles, and they actually shelved it because nobody was using it. Right. And very similar, you as a registered charity, you get your Amazon affiliate link, and whenever your community buys something, Amazon happily sends you money. People are going to buy what they're going to buy. If I need a roofer, I'm not going, well, I don't want to do this because, you say, no, I need to fix my roof.
Right.
And I get to give to charity in the process.
Yeah. And that's what makes it happen. And that's why the alumni associations, right, are looking at this, and foundations, fraternity foundations we're talking to, alumni association, we can't get our alumni to engage. Good. Well, bring your alumni on that are in the business world. They're like, hey, I'm trying to get new business for myself. Yeah. I also want to make some passive income for myself. So there's two ways. So now you want to engage people, bring them on and be like, hey, my law firm needs a new website. You go on, you find someone that was part of your fraternity or part of your high school or alumni association, college, give it to them. And then part of the proceeds, you get some of it because you referred it. And then half of it goes to your alumni association or your fraternity foundation. Right. And you're giving back to your alma mater or your, by just doing. Your law firm needs a website anyway. Why not go to this one? And then you're giving it to I was a Phi Sig, right, in college, Phi Sig Kappa. I'd happily give business to another Phi Sig if I could do it. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? Because I want to do that. And then I know that part of it's going to the foundation. And even on top of that, the software could send part of it to the school, the undergrads, right, where I went to school. Those guys could get money sent to their account, right, to do what they want, fix up the house or whatever it is. There's so many applications for it. It's just, it's not rocket science. It's putting together the fact that we all like to network. It's just saying, let's all network. Let's all track it all. Yeah. Let's pay. Everyone pays on the platform, and then you split it up how you want in your community. And everyone.
I love it.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only time I ever hear from my university, by the way, I moved and I didn't bother telling them I moved, was, the annual guilt campaign that, our donors aren't donating enough. And it was like, well, how are you adding value to my world? I got my degree 100 years ago, according to my kids. What have you done for me since?
Right. Yeah. You just ask for money every year, but yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's not
else?
a relationship. That's a dependency.
And this is the way where now it's like, hey, you're giving me something. You're giving me a platform where I could actually promote myself to other alumni and say, hey, Jeff, I see you do websites. I do video. Then your clients need video. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's talk. And now all of a sudden we're talking. Now we're getting business together, and we are donating to the school now, but we don't have to put it out of our pockets from a deal we got or whatever. So
Yeah.
it does all that. So now your guilt isn't there. Hey, I referred a website to you guys last year. $5,000 went to the Alumni Association. I'm covered for the next couple of years, right? Type of thing. So, yeah, it works in so many ways.
Well, I love the trackable, there's accountability, there's transparency. That's the word I was looking for. And that's the thing for me when it comes to networking. I like everybody to know what's going on. And, a lot of people say, oh, are you going to refer to me to somebody who gives you the biggest commission? And it's like, no, that's not how networking works. I'm going to refer you to somebody that I know will take care of you, because I know that if it goes wrong, you're going to complain to me. They're going to complain to me. I'm going to hear about it.
Right. And I've heard people say, oh, it's kind of like a transactional platform. It's not. It's you're doing the work, you're meeting the people in your community, right? It's a small community. Like, look, LinkedIn, 3 billion people on there. You don't know anyone in that community. Now it's like, hey, this is a small community of our alumni. This is a small community in my nonprofit, right? So these are people I could get to know a little bit, get on the phone with, talk to them before I make an introduction to a client. And then you're going to find the best fit. Hey, Jeff, do you have any hospitality experience? Because they really look for someone hospitality. No, I don't. All right, let me see the other person in the group if they do. And you're going to. Last year, I gave a referral to my friend who works at Wiley Publishing, the big. They do all the dummies books. She was looking for someone. They bought a new publishing platform. Maybe you have someone in that. So I actually gave her 2 referrals from people in our community that I would get a referral fee on, and 1 person outside the community that was a good fit, right? Like, she's asking me who the best thing. Well, here's somebody else, right? And they wound up using someone in our group, but I gave her someone that wasn't going to get any money for, but I just thought they were a great fit for what she was looking for, right? You always want to take care of your client first.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, I'm thinking ahead 10 steps here, but if somebody has a podcast, again, my podcast is about my community. Why wouldn't I sign up for Noladex so that, number one, I benefit because, I like money. I'm not a communist. But more importantly, the people in my network benefit because they can find each other. And there's some value in knowing that everybody knows each other.
Right.
But to me, that's, I always look for ways, how do I add more value to my guests and to my viewers? And to me, this feels like, I have 6 steps I use right now. This feels like step number 7. And why wouldn't I?
Right. It's pretty simple. Listen, everyone's doing the behavior.
Yeah.
Right. That last step to be like, okay, and let me just get paid on that behavior. Like, we're going to do that. We're going to make introductions. We're all going to help each other. And then let's look. I'm okay paying a little fee and you make a little money. Thank you for the introduction. That last step is like, let's all start paying each other. That's what we're trying to say. Let's everybody just make it easy. Like the platform, sign an agreement, you pay, you got to accept the referral. So it's another step to say, yes, Jeff, you introduced me to that person. So there's all sorts of steps to make sure that referral is getting recorded and paid on in a contract form that says, yes, you're going to pay a referral. And just everyone's willing to do it, right? Again, every business I've talked to, I think there's one business I talked to in like the last 5 years, like, we don't pay referral fees. I'm like, and it literally, it was on like an $800,000 deal. Like, we don't pay referral fees. I'm like, you're just, it's yours. It's like, it's yours. They want to use you guys. They met you. They already said yes. And this person refused to pay a referral fee. But we don't do it that way. I'm like,
okay.
Hey, all right, we'll send the $800,000 to somebody else. That's one of the most things that flabbergasted me ever. I'm like, all right, like, it wasn't like an $8,000 deal, it was an $800,000 deal. And they're like, no, we don't want to do. I'm like, all right, I want to be in your business because you're turning down that type of business. Maybe you need to pay.
No.
Yeah. So.
Okay, you and I could go on all kinds of tangents, and you will be a repeat guest. I'm going to warn you now, Joe, because I think you and I could talk about all
Yeah.
aspects of networking.
Yeah.
So somebody's watching this and they're like, I like this Joe guy. Where can they go to connect with you, and where can they go to learn more about Noladex?
Yeah, so just go to joe@noladex.com. Just send me an email. I'm happy to send you a link for a demo. You can go to noladex.com to see a little more. We got explainer videos, some other information on there, and you can sign up for a demo right on the site. So either way, but I'm happy for people to just reach right out to me, and joe@noladex, NOLODEX.com, and you're all set. So yeah, we got all the information on there. We'll show everyone a demo when you actually see the platform in action. It's $1 million piece of software, total enterprise level software. We didn't chintz on building it. We went onshore with a company called Studio Labs. It's like an onshore. They architected the PayPal app. Like, we went for like the best person we could find to build this thing to make sure it's it's going to work well and do what it's supposed to do. And it's doing that. So
I love it. And for what it's worth, Joe, what I love about entrepreneurs is they find something that bugs them, and then they solve it for themselves. And then they go, wait a minute, we could sell this. And
yeah,
I'm going to just say, I know so many people who've built spreadsheets and, complicated workflows, whereas Noladex just plug and play. So,
yeah, you can be up and running in 2 days and bring your community on and get going. So it's pretty easy. Yeah.
So
And
fair warning, you don't know this, Joe, but I booked a demo, and everybody, you can go to Joe's LinkedIn and connect with him, and the link is on there as well. With Joe's permission, we'll record the demo as a future show, because to me, this connects so many dots, especially in the nonprofit space.
Yeah, I think I'd love to get into the nonprofit space, just because, not to, obviously, yes, we want to make money selling our product, of course, but being in a nonprofit, well, I had my own nonprofit. I have a charity that we build housing for homeless veterans. Like, I'm my own nonprofit. I've always been a nonprofit. Like, this is such a way for these nonprofits to make some money, where they're trying to find creative ways to make money. Here it is. You got the board already. You got all these people that can help you make some real money. And these people are on, they're vice president at Pfizer. They're, the Goldman Sachs of the world. Like, these are people that have some really good pull and can bring some things in and just make some nice money for these charities. So,
yeah. Well, and again, I'm just going to over explain this, but if you're building homes for homeless veterans, there's a lot of pieces that can go into that. And honestly, every builder or everybody who supplies things, why wouldn't you be part of Joe's community? And, everybody wins in that case.
Oh yeah. You get the $50,000 electric contract, and you pay a small fee to it. It goes back to the veterans. Like, it's just it's
builds the next house.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Well, Joe, I want to be mindful of your time. Thank you so much. I had an absolute blast, and I love your passion for networking.
Yeah, this was fun. Yeah, I'd love to come back on. So yeah, Jeff, thanks so much for having me. This is awesome.